Okay, so while I'm hauling a hay cutter, as you can see back there, big piece of machinery that we cut our hay with, we're moving it from one site to another. We're going to address this situation right now with the healthcare bill and the insanity on both sides of what's going on. We'll start with the right. We'll start with the Republicans. What a group of spineless, absolute cowards that are liars. There's basically, you fall into three categories if you're a Republican these days. You fall into the category that you're really a Democrat, circa John McCain, Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan. That list is long, honestly. That list is long. Or you fall into the group that you're just a spineless coward. That list is long too. And sometimes you're in both categories. Marco Rubio stands out to me on that. He's just talking about someone who fell from grace and completely sold out. That's how I feel about Marco. And I'm a Floridian who voted for him and saw him on the stump before he had a prayer of becoming a senator in his first term. And I look at him now and I see a future John McCain in the making. Whereas John McCain hides all of his bad decisions behind being a prisoner of war, Marco Rubio hides all of his misgivings on being the son of an immigrant and a bartender. And it's really sad because he had lots of potential and I think he really started off well. And then he got up there and he became corrupt and he had a phlebotomy just like the rest of them, and he sold out, and it's a shame. And then you have the third group, and honestly, that's the group that I like. It's really small, but it's a group of people that actually do what they say they're going to do on the campaign trail. And when they do that, once they get to DC, they're made out to be absolute crazy people. That group is like Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, Jason Chaffetz. I mean, there's a few of them. But, Trey Gowdy. Oh my goodness, don't even get me started on Trey Gowdy. Trey Gowdy for president all day long. But that group is small, and they're made out to be just absolute psychotics and fringe, and they're not. They just can't be bought. And you can't get around their logic. So we have to put them in a box and call them crazy. And it's ridiculous. So that's just a quick breakdown of the Republicans. So now you got Mitch McConnell, who can't do a gosh dang thing to get his party together. And they won't give the people what they've been voted to do. They've been telling us since Obamacare passed that they were going to repeal it. Well, here's your chance, boys. Repeal it. Oh no, we got to replace it with something. Because all these leeches out there, we can't take away an entitlement. Well, you know what? I didn't even have an entitlement. I had insurance when ACA went through that I paid for myself. And it got taken away. Like that. They didn't ask me. I was pregnant at the time. Snatched it right away from me and left me with no insurance while I was pregnant. And guess what, Nancy Pelosi? I didn't die. Because healthcare, not having insurance does not kill you. But I digress. We'll get to Miss Pelosi later. Just follow the promises that you said you were going to do. It's not hard. Pass it. You've got a president that'll sign it. Pass it. Let the chips fall where they will. All right, moving on. Let's move to Democrats. I could talk about this all day. Democrats. Let's start with old Chuck Schumer. Good old Chucky. Chucky's out there crying and boo-hooing that, the Republicans are hiding all this stuff. I'm pretty much sure that we didn't get to read a single word of the bill y'all passed. And I'm pretty sure I remember Miss Pelosi saying we have to pass it before we can know what's in it. So let's take a trip down memory lane, Chucky. Let's just take a little trip. And secondly, let's talk about this reconciliation. You used reconciliation to pass ACA. Has this slipped your mind? Why? Okay, we'll move on. Nancy Pelosi. Ugh. That woman has Botoxed her brains away. Honestly, she's out there crying that all these people on Medicaid, when it gets trimmed down because it's way too big, it's not feasible, it's not sustainable. It has to be trimmed down. It got too big under ACA to sustain itself. Ask the VA. It's the same problem. Well, anyways, Nancy Pelosi out there saying that people are going to die when you don't have insurance, when Medicaid goes away. Let me tell you something, Nancy. Y'all yanked my insurance away back when you passed ACA, and look at me. I'm still kicking. Haven't had insurance since the Affordable Care Act took place, and look at me. Cash pay all the way. Paid for my second child, cash pay all the way. Had to go to the emergency room last year. Had to have a surgery. Had to wait for my doctor to get there. Cash paid for it. How did I survive? It's unbelievable. And the fatality numbers that you're throwing out, Bride of Chucky, Botox Queen, Miss Pelosi, check out the fatality rates of the United States before you start throwing these numbers out, sweetie, because they don't add up. When you start looking up the fatality rates and all those numbers for us, circa a couple years ago, your numbers don't add up. You might be able to add up your Botox injection CCs, but you dang sure cannot add up fatality numbers because, honey, they are way, way off. And let's address this little situation real quick. This will be my last little run. Let's address this little situation of if you don't have insurance, you will die. And not having insurance kills you. Clearly, I don't have insurance, and here I am kicking it. Working a job, paying my cash, doing my thing. Same thing for my husband and I. That's how we pay for our daughter's wellness checks with cash. Like responsible people. When my insurance got canceled, we just started putting our monthly insurance premium into a little side fund that we keep for only health stuff, because that's what responsible people should do. Secondly, you cannot be denied medical service in an emergency room anywhere in this country. And there's not a hospital in this country that's afraid to put you on a payment plan. I've been on a payment plan in my past when I couldn't afford something, and I paid off every single dime of it. Now, yeah, it might take you a while if your bills are real high, but guess what? Cash is practically pennies on the dollar cheaper to what they charge an insurance company. When I went to the emergency room last year and I had to have surgery, they would have charged my insurance company over $60,000. Now, when I showed up and told them I was cash pay and I could possibly have them paid within 48 hours of me leaving that hospital, my bill remarkably went down to $3,300. I can pay that all day, every day, because I've been putting my money away rather than wasting it in a premium that I wouldn't have even met my deductible. So this whole, if you have health insurance, you're going to live, it's a load of garbage. My brother, he had health insurance. He got in a hit and run back in 2008 when they had to do multiple surgeries over a 48-hour period, and he didn't make it. And he had insurance, and it did not save his life. Because it doesn't save your life. Having insurance or not having insurance does not kill you. Having insurance does not save you. That's not how it works. Your health kills you, not your insurance or lack of it. And the people of this country are sick of it, and they're sick of you, Miss Pelosi, and they are sick of you, Chuck Schumer. And if you doubt it, look who's look who the president of the United States is. Look at him, because I know he drives you crazy every day. Every day. You want to know how much the people of America dislike you and dislike your tactics and dislike your lies? Look at the Oval Office, is all I have to say. There is a man sitting in there that drives you up a wall every day. And he's going to be there. And he'll probably be there for another 4 years. If you guys don't knock it off. I'm definitely sick of the Democrats. I'm sick of everybody. But I am really sick of the scare tactics. And so are the American people. Get it together.